Hey, what's up, everybody? Mogi Monster here, and welcome to Why the Fascination, or WTF. I see Maya's going to entertain us with her squeaker toy. Of course. It's good to see everybody. Mr. Lee, what's up? NAC, what's going on, man? Mr. Hand, how are you, Rex? Hey, Sandra. See, it's going to be one of those nights. I can't. I gotta get this away from her. Hold on. Sorry about this, guys. No. Thank you. Just behave. She's sitting there trying to look all innocent. She ain't innocent. No, she's a good dog. Hey, Judy. How are you, Judy Wheeler? Great to see you. Hope you're doing well. So, yeah, we're supposed to get some rain here tonight, so we're getting a little bit, but hopefully it doesn't get too bad where we lose power, because I probably should be charging my phone about now, but no. So, for those of you who have never been here before, if you're just watching for the first time, God bless you and good luck. Make sure your seatbelt's tight, and even then, keep your hands inside the ride. No, what we do is, what I do is I put the link in chat, and anybody can click on that link and come on the show, and you have something you want to talk about, you have an experience, or you're just having a bad day, whatever. You know, we're here to listen, help, whatever we can do. We are in a Bigfoot community. I mean, we all have that in common. And so, yeah, it doesn't have to be a story about Bigfoot. You just, like I said, you want to share something, come along, tell us. Mr. Lee, how's it going, man? MPW, great to see you. Ida Bustamante. Hey, Kelly and Kathy. Hey, Jamie, how's it going, man? So, yeah, my sisters are in town. They drove down from New Jersey. They got down Monday night, last night, late. So I saved them some money. They're on vacation, so I gave them the camping experience. I set up the pop-up awning, grill. I mean, I hooked it up. So they're saving a bunch of money and enjoying themselves. We've been hanging out. Today we went out on a boat this morning for just like a little over an hour. Just a little tour of the area. And then we went and had lunch, and we've been hanging out all day. Took them to the state park, just showed them that real quick. And then I think tomorrow we're going to go check out, we're going to figure out, we're going to go to some springs somewhere. Either we're going to go to Rainbow Springs or something local. Rainbow Springs isn't that bad. It's maybe 45 minutes away, an hour away. So it's not terrible. But yeah, so Kim and Pammy are here, and I was almost late because we're down there hanging out, and I cooked some dinner. I made some steaks, and at one point I looked at the clock. It was 7:22. I was like, shit, it's getting late. I didn't realize it was so late, but then all of a sudden it dawned on me that, oh shit, you got a show tonight. And it was like, oh, it was the furthest thing from my mind was doing this show tonight. So, Michael Haywood, how are you, bud? So good to see that you're healing well. I want you to be able to walk around when me and Stevie get up there. Don't know when we're coming yet, but we're coming. You can take us fishing. Did Kimmy and Pammy hop in here? Hey, Val. Northwoods Cryptid Investigation. What's up? Cryptid. Oh, it's a D. Northwoods says, Mugs, be careful around those manatees. The last time I met my ex was swimming in Florida. She was mistaken for a manatee. We didn't see any. I saw one or two, but it wasn't a sunny day, so you couldn't. The clarity of the water wasn't there. When the sun's out, you really see the sun reflect off. You see the difference in the color in the water, and we saw boats out. Where we were in Kings Bay. The manatee tours were out there, and they had their guides in the water, and then they find the manatees and corral them up. You can't touch them, but you can swim with them, so they're making a lot of money off of that. But I think it's cool because I think Crystal River is the only place in the United States where you can swim with them. So it's cool. Who am I missing? So yeah, me being me and what we're into, all of us. I had my sisters basically a captive audience, so I put episode 515. Is that it? I Shouldn't Be Alive from Sasquatch Chronicles on. I was like, this is what really convinced me. Listen to this woman's story. And of course, my sister Pam's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, oh. It's all right. Hey, Pammy. Smart Sass, what's up? Snarkin' Sass. Dude, I can't do it. I hate putting these fucking things on. I just want to see if it makes a difference. Relax, Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee hates when I put those glasses on. So Snarkin' Sass, sorry I screwed your name up, dude. So yeah, what I will do is I will put the link in chat. And that is the correct link. I made sure I copied it this time. So if anybody wants to come on, just hit that link. See, Mr. Lee reacting to me putting glasses on. Yeah, hit that link, follow the directions. All I ask is that you do turn off YouTube so we don't get that echo. Also, on the bottom of your screen, there will be a stop camera. If you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to be. It's more of an incentive for Pammy to come, for people to come on. I just read somebody say, never mind. Excuse me. I'm reading shit wrong. It said Dan. I thought it said Pam. Sandra Pink. How you been, girl? Great to see you. Welcome. See, Sandra's like, Mogs, put your glasses on so you can see. But then you guys get that nasty reflection from the computer. I don't know what to do about that. Oh, that's a good question there, Jamie. Who's a better fisher, Mogs or Stevie? I'll let Stevie answer that. I always wanted to see what she'd do with a shovel. Well, I taught her what she knows. I didn't teach her everything I know, though. It's just that some things that you don't even realize you can teach them, or you don't even realize you do it as a fisherman. It's just it's just a natural thing. But like tying a knot, you can teach and stuff. But some things, I don't know. She does good on her. She does great on her own. I'm so impressed with her. Mo's and learning from the best. Not the best, not at all. But I will get you into fishing. I will turn you on to fish. In sense of, if we got to use minnows and live bait or whatever, I'll get you catching fish. And it's just, it's up to you from there. If you're going to take a passion for it, or it's all up to there. And up to you. And she did. She just hook, line, and sinker. She jumped in, and she loves it. Excuse me. Sorry. Shit, I'm gonna have to clean them soon. Jamie says, I'd rather be lucky than good. Depends. It really depends. Nothing. They work fine for certain fish. I mean, all fish will eat them, but most people are, a lot of people, when they fish, they target a specific species, like largemouth bass or smallmouth bass or walleye, or, and there's different techniques for every different species of fish. But with a rubber worm, with like a night crawler, you'll catch them all. But there's so many different ways to fish with different lures, different rubbers, like rubber worms or lizards or, Cincos, and all these different, hard plastics that dive deep, that don't dive at all, that float, that sink, that, that you walk the dog, it's just the way you retrieve it. There's so many different ways to fish. And the end result is you're all seeking the same thing, is to catch the fish. It's just a matter of what you put on your line in order to do it. There's different retrieval methods, and a lot of it you just got to learn on your own by catching fish. Like I can correct mistakes. Like she, a couple times she lost a bass because when it jumped, it spit the hook. I said, you can tell when a bass is going to jump. When a bass is going to jump, because you can watch your line just start peeling off, and it'll rise. You'll see it coming up to the surface, basically the line and where it hits the water, and they're going to jump. So pull down on it before it even gets a chance. Just get your tip low, and just there's so many things I tried pointing out. She learns, So kudos to you, Stevie. Mr. Fritz, what's up, bud? Sharon Guy, good to see you. Now that I can. Oh, geez, I got to get used to these damn things. Mr. Lee, you can catch a giant catfish. Yeah, what are those catfish over there? Belgium catfish or something crazy like that. That some of those catfish are huge. Hey, Graz, what's up, buddy? So Joe just closed up. Others will show up now. Joe, I forgot his new name. Anyway. Hey, more the merrier. I can't. These things are going to give me a headache. I'd rather squint, guys. I can already feel a headache coming on. I guess you got to do that gradually. they say, oh, your brain, it'll get used to it. And, I don't know. I put them on like my other pair for distance and driving. It's like I put them on, I can see into the future in my left eye. Bizarre. Thank you, Sharon. She said you look good with glasses, Mugs, but I'm not. I mean, sunglasses. I'm surprised. Yeah, I mean, I have sunglasses on all the time. And on a day like today, it's overcast. I had my sunglasses around my neck and then another pair on my head that were just yellow lenses. Because when it's overcast, it kind of brightens things up. And at night, it kind of helps with glare. I'm turning into an old man. But yeah, I'll get used to them. It just freaks me out with driving. With those glasses that they're made for driving. I really have to wear them and be sure, because I tried it and it was like scary, because I was seeing double. You have to look directly down the lens and like through the center, and this eye was still like shit was moving, and I'm like, oh man, I got to take these off. Because vision in my left eye is pretty jacked. Emma Johnson. What's up, girl? Great to see you. Eyes in the Woods, welcome. Mr. Claude Nall. How are you, man? Who else? Finding the Trackway. See, you were right. As soon as Joe went off, everybody piled over. I see how it is. It's all right. It's all right. Hey, welcome everybody that just showed up. Right on. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Jen. Brian and Chewy, how's it going? So yeah, guys, looks like we're going to have a busy night tonight. Right on. Since there's so many people showing up, somebody's got to have something to say. Hint, hint, hint. Yeah, if anybody wants to come on, just click on the link. Come hang out. Link is in chat. That's the current link, so hopefully you're not in some like black hole somewhere in the studio that's lost and forgotten about, and you're like, where is everybody? I've done that a few times. Sorry. What's going on, Raptor? Hey, Dina. So after we went out on the boat today, we went to a place around the corner of from here, my house. Castaways. That's where I'm doing the karaoke contest. Well, they serve food, so we went there, and it seemed that a local club was hanging out. I don't know if they're considered a club, but they were wearing matching shirts. But anyway, we're about to leave, and I almost back into this guy, and I turn around and I look down for some reason, and on the back of his calf, he's got a tattoo, and that tattoo is of Sasquatch. So I kind of like tapped him on the back. I'm like, dude, what's with the tattoo? He's like, oh, and he was a big guy. He's like, I used to be a hockey player, and one game we were up in Vancouver or somewhere in Canada, and in between periods, I went out back and had a cigarette, but it was snowing out. So when I came in, I was all full of snow, and when I walked through the door, I shook myself off, and one of the Canadian players said, "You look like a Yeti." So apparently it's stuck, and he's got a tattoo of a Sasquatch on the back of his calf. Weird story. What's up, bud?
No, man. So, do you feel better now? I'm wearing my glasses tonight.
How you feeling?
What's up, fella?
Doing all right.
Okay.
I'm alive. I'm breathing. you know, all that good stuff. Move my
Let's see if
lights
I can
on
figure
behind
that
me
one
so
out,
bad.
Sandra. Sandra said if you turn down the brightness on your screen, you shouldn't get the
You don't have as
bad
much reflection
glare.
on your glasses. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, but my problem is finding that button to turn down the. How do you turn the screen, the brightness down? Oh,
that would be way back in settings in your computer. No, not the whole
okay, it's in
stupid
this
thing.
display.
So, Craig, where
Brightness.
you from again, bro?
Who?
You.
Me?
Oh, I'm sorry, Claude.
Baton Rouge.
You know where he's from?
Baton Rouge.
She.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, I did. Me and you talked already, but I didn't
Yeah.
remember exactly where you were from.
Yeah, we talked on the phone a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said that around the Lake des Allemands area they had some Bigfoot.
I don't know. I don't think I said that.
You didn't say that. Okay.
Uh-uh. That wasn't me.
How about the Norco area? No.
Not that I know of. You know, I mean, I don't have any proof that there's any around there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. So,
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm
they're all over
clueless
the
as to
state.
what you're talking
You know.
about.
They're around Thibodeau. I know they're around Thibodeau. I've talked
Thibodeau.
to one lady from down there that tells me they're down there. You know.
Who's from Thibodeau? Who you talking about? Who you talking about?
There was a lady that posted some photographs on YouTube. That's from Thibodeau, and I got in conversation with her
Okay.
about her, you know,
Cool.
in comments and asked her, you know, where did you find her? She said, I'm not going to tell you that. Okay, nobody does, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they're around New Orleans. A friend of mine was throwing newspapers one morning, and another lady that throwing newspapers in Baton Rouge calls her and says, I'm over here off of Lee Drive and, you know, a little subdivision, and I just saw something like 8 feet tall and jet black run across the road in front of me. And I know it wasn't a
Wow.
bear. And my friend says, you just saw Sasquatch. And she said, in Baton Rouge? And about this time you hear whoop in the background. She said, yeah,
Really?
in
Yeah.
Baton Rouge.
Wow.
This I mean, this is around, you know, it's within the city limits, but it's, you know, kind of on the outskirts of Baton Rouge. But yeah,
Outskirts, yeah.
there's a major canal that runs all the way up through Baton Rouge that goes down to the Emmett River. So it's
Yeah.
following that canal up, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
You're right.
so they're all over the state.
Yeah,
You
I
ever
tried
went-
turning the brightness down. It just it seems too
Didn't
dark.
work.
There's no pleasing me.
You ever went squatching around here, man?
Me?
Yeah.
Around where?
In Louisiana.
Yeah. I found them up here in Versace.
Where at?
North of Alexandria.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, this has been a hot spot for Sasquatch for years. In fact,
Versace, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
North of Alexandria.
Oh, is that where I met you?
Yeah.
Claude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were headed back to Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in Cosachi National Forest when you came by.
It's a pretty place. Really, really pretty forest.
Oh, it is. If you like pine trees, because they have an abundance of pine trees up here.
Yeah, there were a lot of pine trees. I'm sorry, I was just looking at chat.
Yeah.
We're trying to.
Good.
What you know about the south part of Louisiana?
It's swampy.
No, I'm talking about Sasquatch.
Oh,
Yeah, it is swampy.
I know a lot about the southern part of the state. There's some good redfish down there and speckled trout.
But Sasquatch wise,
I don't know, for a fact. Uh, I mean, I hear reports from Lafayette area. There's one guy that's on YouTube. I can't think of what his name is. He was
oh,
on Kerry Arnold several
I know who
times.
you're talking about.
Carl, I think.
L.A. Yeah,
Oh,
L.A.'s.
Carl Gautreaux,
Yeah.
Yeah,
or however you pronounce it.
Go true.
yeah, Gautreaux. Yeah, good Irish boy. What?
Yeah, Carl's he always has the camera in the backyard.
Yeah.
I haven't heard from him in like 2 years or something.
No, I saw him or
He was on somebody's
somewhere
podcast
recently.
not too long ago. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, within the past 3 months, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that might sound like a long time, but 3 months on YouTube goes by pretty quick.
Yeah.
Icon, how you doing? Donald Fuller, welcome. Hey, Cheese Freak. Who else? Yeah, I know I mentioned it the other day. I've been watching this I'm binge watching this guy. It's probably not healthy, but fuck it. Subarctic Alaska Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
watched a couple.
I am about listening to stories, and this guy is native. He's on the council, tribal council out there in his village for his tribe, and most of his stories that he retells are from other villagers, natives. So they're pretty fascinating, and he's got a shit ton of them. So I am just like, that's all I listen to now, because I'm fascinated. Because these are really good stories. I don't think the guy's full of shit. I think everything's legit, and it's kind of scary. But
I'm subscribed to that, but I haven't really listened yet.
Oh yeah, go check it out, man. He does a really good job. His name's Fred. His last name begins with an H. It's fascinating, to hear it from that point of view. I always wanted to hear it from a native point of view.
Yeah.
And they're getting these stories, and they're not friendly up there.
Are they longer stories, or what's the length of them, if you remember?
From 15 to 40 minutes, and anywhere in between.
He's not on there long. The 2 or 3 that I watched were short.
Okay.
I started at episode 1, and I'm working my way through.
See, I started the latest and worked my way to number 1.
Well, we'll meet in the middle somewhere then.
Yeah.
But Stevie does that. She'll go back to the beginning and start in the beginning and first thing and start at number 1 and work away. I'm like, I don't know. I just want to hear stories. I don't care what number.
I like to hear the guy's story, his background. How he started this, and watch the progression.
Well, he has stories that he tells of his experiences. It's just to him, to us. Like for me, you guys, like Claude, you know more than most as far as their existence. I'm a skeptic, and so we doubt. We not sure if it exists, but to them, it's not even a question of it. It's their daily life. They've been living with these things forever, and to hear that and then hear the stories, it's like it's more than convincing,
Yeah, it's part of their travel history. This goes back hundreds of years.
Part of their daily life.
Yeah,
it's some crazy shit.
I'd like to go hang out with Barry and where's he? Res Squatching. You know who I'm talking about.
Barry Webster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to go up there
Oh yeah, where is he?
for a couple of days. Everybody that I've watched that I talked to that's been up there just comes back amazed. You know,
Really?
There's a guy down here I've been talking to locally that went up there and spent a couple of days, and he said if you ever have any doubts about Sasquatch and you go up there, you won't when you leave because they're in your face. They're right there.
Really?
They're not hiding way back where you think you see them. No, they you know, if they trust you, they'll come right up in front of you.
Oh,
What
the ones
state
in
is that?
Alaska, they don't want to trust you. They want to kill you.
Yeah.
You know, they're not. They're a different attitude up there. They're not. You know, little.
Well, the ones in southern Oklahoma in the Kiamichi Mountains are supposed to be full of attitude. You know. So I guess it just depends on the area they're in and what kind of experiences they've had over the years with humans and that kind of thing.
Well, they don't like them up there.
These around here are pretty laid back, you know. I've never had anything thrown at me up here. I've never had, you know, any kind of attitude.
I just did y'all a huge favor
What's that?
putting off that light.
Do what?
Putting off that light, man.
He put himself in the dark.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Richie, what's going on?
we can still see you, Ben.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're kind of like a shadow figure.
Yeah.
You know, like Black Ops or something. You know,
Shadow of a shadow.
Yeah. I sort of feel like shadow or shadow.
You're sneaking.
Oh, that's obnoxious. Hang on, let me turn that shit off.
I used to wear a hat just, you know, to keep. Well, I didn't. Now I don't care anymore.
Man, who gives a shit
It don't matter.
about that?
It ain't gonna get any worse. It can't get any worse. It ain't gonna get any better. So
It doesn't matter. It's what life dealt you, bro. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing to really worry about.
I'm proud to be my age and still have hair up here. It ain't much, okay, but it's nice and dark. It hasn't grown gray yet. So, yeah.
I hear you, buddy. Congratulations.
Yeah. I think if I had started to go bald, I would just shave it. I'd be like, nope, okay, gone.
I'm headed that. Well, this is long right now. I'm due a haircut.
You have a skullet, bro?
No,
Okay, just asking.
I go to a barber shop and for $17 they'll buzz it.
No,
I'm happy.
they'll do what?
Buzz cut it.
Cut it short.
Oh yeah.
Okay, bro, you can do that.
I got an 1/8 inch the last time. When I first did this, I had them skin it. They didn't razor shave it, but as short as the clippers would cut it. You know, I like it. I don't have to worry about combing it. I get it just like whatever.
I hear you, bud. I hear you.
You're the same way. You got
Absolutely.
your shave.
Bro, how's it going?
I do that shit in my house.
Yeah. Well, as soon as I get a little electric razor, a little battery operated razor, I'll be doing it by myself.
I got you, man. I got you.
Every couple of days, just you know.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, for sure.
Look at how much you save on haircuts. You know?
Yeah. Got one of the little bitty.
So do I. I don't cut my hair.
When you
there you go. I was in your club a long while back. I had hair down on my shoulders, and it stayed that way for 30 years. And recently, I just got tired of fooling with it. You know, it just you know, got tired of washing. You got tired of. I wake up in the morning, it's all up here. And I'm like, no, hell no.
No, I know. Those are the ponytail days.
You know when I really enjoyed it was this past winter when it get down to like 35 inside the van, I could get in my sleeping bag and wake up in the morning and go, oh, look, my hair's all still in place. Whatever's left, put on a skull cap, not worry about it.
Yeah, man.
Jeff, what's
Yeah.
going on? Pine Island Research, good to see you.
I found out one thing. When you cut your hair like this and you put on a navy kit, little knitted caps, they don't go anywhere.
It doesn't
It's
move.
like Velcro. You got to snatch them off.
Yep.
Mr. Lee said his back hair is longer than his head hair.
Mine is. Hey, Mr. Lee, what do you got?
I don't know. Oh, now I'm interested in what Brian had to say. I got to scroll back. Damn it. This is what happens when I, make the mistake of reading like certain messages.
You lost in concentration?
Concentration, yeah. Anyway. So what's next for Claude? What are you out of the smoke?
Huh?
Are you out of the smoke?
Yeah,
Things
they
don't
quit
burn over there?
burning up here for a while,
Okay, good.
which is good. They were burning what is this, Tuesday? Last Friday? Air quality about 20 miles south of here was 145 or something. Stupid. But you
What's
could
a
tell
good air quality?
when I looked at it on my weather map, you could see the area where this crappy air quality was. And it's not them burning,
Yeah.
It rained later
What's
that
good
day.
air quality? It's a good question, Ben. I don't know how the range is on. Is it the lower the better?
The lower the number, the better. And the scale literally maxes out at 500.
Mhm.
And at one day it was up to 500 around here.
Oh,
That's when
wow.
I got out of town. I went elsewhere,
Mm.
get out of the
Like
sun.
Kansas.
Smoke was thick. You couldn't, it was rough.
Yeah.
Normal people was having trouble.
In Baton Rouge?
No, up here in the national forest,
I
they're
thought
doing
you said you were
controlled
in
burn. They're
Baton
doing
Rouge.
controlled burns every spring to keep down on forest fires. They burn all the ground cover off. Well, when they do that, that smoke, if it's not any wind blowing, that smoke will just hang and it gets thick.
Yeah, I understand that. You said so you're not in Baton Rouge. You
Oh
from Baton Rouge?
no, I'm not in Baton Rouge. No, I don't do BatonRouge. It's dangerous.
Okay. Yeah.
They
But
got more shootings in Baton Rouge than they do in New Orleans, I believe.
I doubt it.
I don't know.
I was in Baton Rouge once.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Baton Rouge sucks.
It's gotten bad, Oh. And
I was at the airport. That was about it.
Yeah. It's pretty safe around the airport. As long as you don't, I'll leave that alone.
Baker?
Baker?
That's pretty dangerous, bro. That's where the airport is.
Yeah. Well, Baker's north of the airport, but yeah, that area.
Yeah, no, I was at the airport. Supposed to meet up with Stevie. She was going to meet me there and drive the rest of the way to Florida, and she missed a flight or couldn't get on the flight, whatever. I waited at that airport for like 5 hours. Didn't happen.
That used to be my hangout when I was about 16. We had a temporary church up there that they rented one of the old military buildings, and that's where our church was. And we'd skip out the back door and go to the airport, go hang out in the lounge up there and goof off, play pinball machines, and go back to the church and just in time for our parents to leave. I went to church, I just didn't stay.
I clocked in, but then yeah, I did. Church was weird for me as a kid. I don't know. Because my sisters, one sister went to the school. The church offered a school too, so my sister went to the school. And they had rules and regs, and my hair was a little longer when I was not like this, but they wanted over the ear haircuts, and I was like, yeah, I don't even want it. Since I ain't going to your school, so
can't touch your collar, can't be in your eyes, can't.
Yeah. It's like, no.
High and tight, whatever. No. So I would let this grow, going back. This hair wouldn't reach my collar back here. So, but I always kept it coming back, But if I ever got hit with a gust of wind, it's like I go blind.
It's like a reverse comb over.
Yeah. But it was legal. It wasn't in my ear, my eyes. It didn't touch my my collar, and I didn't break the rules, buddy. I tied them up in knots. We were in junior high. We had a dress code in middle school, junior high. You had to wear a belt. Boys had to wear a belt. Okay. So we would wear a belt and we put the buckle on the side. And buckle's got to be, it does not say that in the dress code. Well, the following year said buckle on the belt had to be in the front. Okay. But before that, we'd wear it in one belt loop. Just let it hang on the side. I'm wearing a belt. Doesn't say specifically. They went to the letter. It has to be in every belt loop. The buckle has to be in the front. Blah, 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 blah,
Any loophole you guys took advantage of?
The kids that followed us, it was like being in prison. We made the rules so tight. Those
Back in the old days.
Yeah, really.
Back in the old days, we got away with murder. Except John Stagg. He was my hero. He came to school one day with a mohawk. And this guy had thick black hair, okay? And he had the strip left right down the middle. And proudly walked into school that morning, and he didn't make it all the way through first hour, and he was called to the principal's office. And the principal says, you got two choices. Shave the rest of it off and wear a hat till it grows out, or don't come back until your hair grows out.
Why cover up?
Well,
if he shaves it off, then he's just bald.
He shaved it, but but that maybe I don't know. He came back with like a sailor's cap or something, and he made it but and this guy ended up on the police force. That's after all the things he did all the way through school, he ends up on the police force. Like, okay.
Yeah, it's funny how that works.
Yeah. He was a good cop. He pulled me over 2 or 3 times. Of course, it always let me go because it was like stupid. The taillights were out or, whatever. Simple stuff. I wouldn't ever do anything ignorant. Not when he stopped me. And I wonder why my kids are bad. I don't know where they got it from. I can't say it. I got good kids. Sometimes
I'm reading Brian's book he's writing here.
Huh?
They're talking, Mike, Brian and Chewy. Brian's talking about one of the experiences he had, and I guess how it affected him.
All right, guys, I'm about to roll up.
All right, Ben.
Good
It's good to see you, man.
Later.
Later, buddy.
Talk to you soon, man. Thanks for popping on. we're boring Ben. Ben's always one with a lot of questions.
Yeah.
We don't have any. We're not offering anything to be questioned, I suppose.
He and I talked for about 2 hours one night.
Oh yeah.
We hooked up, on the phone, and we got him some deep stuff that night. Seriously, deep stuff. He's had some experiences on the spiritual side that'll grab your attention.
Yeah. No, I've heard him. I've heard his stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the way he was raised with it, as far as his grandmother was, she was, she practiced more on the. She wanted them to use the Ouija board and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She encouraged that.
Yeah. That's something I won't touch.
As a kid, we goofed around with it, but not that we ever did anything with it. But yeah, I have no desire to play with them.
Well, I found out years later that I play one. My aunt had one, and we drag it out and play with it, and ask questions and get yes and no answers and stuff. And I was amazed with it. I wasn't afraid of it, but after I grew up and got in spiritual studies, I found out you can bring things through Ouija boards that you don't want to know about.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it for me, So.
Yeah, there's things. I mean, I just don't want to mess around with those things,
Yeah.
I mean, my experiences have been paranormal, so I know there is shit going on out there. Yeah. And some depends on what it is. I mean, I'll embrace some things, but just the other things I just really don't want to get involved in.
Yeah. I did. I thought it was interesting. And I got in a couple of dicey situations. I got out of them without any harm. But, I thought I'd go into that tonight or not. Anyway, I got to where I was doing exorcisms and things like that. And you can find yourself in some interesting situations. So.
Well, I mean, were you participating in exorcisms, like assisting or doing them, or I mean?
I was doing it.
Okay.
A guy I worked with came in one Monday morning and he looked like death warmed over. And I'm like, dude, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I said, you don't look good. He said, I've been having a rough time of it. I said, well, if you don't mind talking about it, I said, you having marriage problems? Oh, no, nothing like that. He said, the house I'm living in is haunted. Okay. And he said, it doesn't bother my wife, but it hates me. He said, at times I walk through the room, stuff flying off the shelves at me, and, like, okay. Do me a favor. He says, what's that? I said, I gave him a quarter. And I put my energy in it. I rubbed on that quarter and put my energy in it. I said, take this quarter and put it on your coffee table. Tell your wife don't touch it. Just leave it there. Why? I said, because in a couple of nights, I'm gonna come to where that quarter. I don't want to know where you live. I'm gonna follow that quarter. I'm gonna come to where that quarter is and check your house out, see what's going on. And I made the mistake of not preparing properly before I went. And I had this guy meet me face to face, buddy. What the F you doing in my house? And I mean, just going ballistic. And I realized that I had made a mistake, and I went back to the property that I was living on, and I had a gate across my driveway. It was a piece of chain hanging between a tree and a gate post. And that was my safe zone. I had that whole property blessed and cleansed and sealed to where nothing could come in on me. And I got up the next morning to go to work, and the gate post is sheared off at the ground. I mean, just like you cut it with a chainsaw, just as smooth as anything. I'm like, whoa, that was cool. So I unlocked the chain off the post and kind of tied it up and went to work. When I came in that evening, we got a post hole digger and put the post
Sure.
back in the ground and all this. And that night, or the next night, I prepared myself properly and I went back to the house. And this guy met me again. What are you doing in my house? I said, number one, it's not your house. I'll be damned. I built this place myself. I'm staying. He said, I don't know what these people are doing in my house. I said, dude, clap your hands. He's like, what's it? Clap your hands. And he tried. And of course, I said, did you hear anything? He said, no. I said, it's because you're dead. You're a spirit. And you don't belong here. Not anymore. Well, I was wondering why all the furniture was in here and all this good stuff. So he says, so I told him how to leave, what to look for, where to go. You don't belong here, but I can tell you where you do belong. And he turned, he started to leave, and he stopped and he looked back. He said, sorry about your gate post. I said, it's okay. He came after me that first night with enough attitude that when he got to the boundary on that property, he sheared that gate post off at the ground. And I'm talking telephone pole size gate post, okay? This is the creosote, part of the telephone pole, and cut it off level at the ground. And I looked all over that driveway for tire tracks or, where somebody may have run in there and ran into the chain and broke the post off. But if that would have happened, that post would have fractured. It wouldn't have been clean with the ground.
How did you get involved with doing exorcisms?
I started spiritual studies when I was 23 years old.
Okay.
Had always been curious about it my whole life and didn't know where to look or who to talk to. And this group came through Baton Rouge giving lectures on, psychic things. And like, yeah, I'm going to go listen to this. And an hour's worth of free lecture, they had my attention. And I got a what they call an orientation profile that explained the how you work with energy and what gifts I'm working with, and the fact that, and everybody has these, okay, you have a group of angels you come into this earth realm with. They come in as advisors. They can't tell you what to do, but they can make suggestions. If you're thinking, which would be better, this job or this job, and they'll say, well, what are you looking for? Well, I'm looking for that. Okay, well, this job would be the better one. And I've never had them lie to me. Never had
them talk to me.
Huh?
I wouldn't know where to start in finding my angels and recognizing my angels. I'm like, how do you, I believe they're there.
There's a lady on YouTube. Her name is Melissa Kitto, Kitto. And she has podcasts about communicating with your angels. How to go about it, how to find them, the whole 9 yards. And she is part of the group that I studied with years ago. They're still there. They're still doing it. But that's where all this got started. I went from there. These people talk about remote viewing and things like that.
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend living in Houston. She'd come to Baton Rouge on the weekends, and we'd go out and whatever. Sunday night, she'd go back to Houston. And this went on for 8 or 9 months. And if we were having courses in Baton Rouge, these spiritual courses in this area that she wanted to go to, she'd come in for the weekend and we'd go to these courses and stuff. And I lost track of her. She disappeared on me. And I was concerned about her. She was living in Houston. Called her phone number. It had been disconnected. Did not know how to get in touch with her. And she taught me how to travel spiritually. She was the one that taught me how to do it. So I said, well, I know where she is, roughly. I can find her. So I stretched out in my bed and cleansed my apartment and sealed myself in a bubble of energy to protect my body while I was gone. And Houston, I went. And I found myself standing next to her bed in her apartment. She's asleep by herself, luckily. Uh, and I called out to her. I called her name 3 times. And I said, it's Claude, call me. And went back to my body again. It wasn't 2 minutes later, my phone rang. It was her. And she says, were you just here? I said, yeah. Why? I said, I was worried about you. I hadn't heard from you in a month. Your phone's been disconnected. And she said, I'm sorry. I changed jobs. I changed apartments, changed phone, just cleared out and started over again.
Changed life.
And I hadn't thought to give you a call and let you know. I'm sorry. I said, okay, I just want to make sure you are all right. She said, I'm fine. So we went back to bed. And it wasn't, everybody thinks it's this big deal to spiritually travel like that. It's not. You just have to know the rules and regulations and what it takes to do it safely. And anybody can do it. It takes a little practice. So. And all of my kids know. My daughter called me one night. This was funny. She said, I could tell when she called me from a payphone, for one thing. And I said, are you okay? She said, I'm fine, but I got a problem. I said, what? She said, that trailer I just moved in is possessed. I said, define possessed. She said, doors opening and closing, drawers opening and closing, things slamming. She said, I've been putting up with it for a week. And she said, I've had enough. I said, okay. You need it cleaned up? She said, please. I said, okay. Now, this is a child that had been in Wicca. Okay. I mean, she was involved, but this was beyond anything she knew how to deal with. I mean, she'd been doing the cleansing and the smudgings, and it hadn't helped. I said, okay. So I went to her trailer, and when I stepped in the door spiritually, this black guy confronted me with a string of expletives and white MF, blah, 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 cuts down. He said, whoa, 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 whoa. Back off, dude. I said, I'm not who gave you problems. I knew his history. I was reading his history while he was going off on me. And I said, you were hanged, weren't you? How you know that? I said, trust me, I know. You were hanged for something you didn't do. Yeah. And this was back 100 years ago during slave times. He was accused of raping a white woman and he was hanged. Period. He didn't do it. And he was seeking vengeance ever since. And like the guy in the house that my friend had, and I explained to him, I said, look, you're dead. You no longer have a body. You're hung up here with something you're not going to change. You might as well let it go and move on. So I explained to him what he needed to do. He turned and left, and I went back to my house and called my daughter back at the payphone. I said, you can go home now. She said, it's clear. Oh, yeah. She said, when they turned the corner, there's a street light right in front of the trailer. And when they turned the corner, the street light was shining straight up in the air, not on the ground. But she said she stepped inside and it was like he had never been there. Well, good. It worked.
Well, how did you like find out that you could see spirit or communicate with spirit? I mean, because that's that's a gift or a talent or whatever you want to call it, but not everybody can do it. So how did you
No.
realize you could do it to begin with?
Well, I was taught how to. That's
Okay.
part of what this group does. They teach exorcisms. They teach, one-on-one communication, mental communications, and I can check on any one of my kids at will.
I remember you saying that you would
Yeah,
check up on just to
my
step in and see how
grandchildren.
they're doing.
If I get a bad feeling about one, I'll mentally check up on them, see if they're physically okay, and then I'll call them. You okay? Yeah, how'd you know? Come on, you gotta ask. Okay, yeah. Well, I'm going through blah 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 blah. And we'll sit and talk it out, and hopefully by the time we get off the phone, they're okay. It's just something I've learned to do, and I've practiced it for almost 50 years. So after a while, you get a little experience with it. So uh, I'll do readings. I could, if you got a ring that you wear all the time, or a watch or a necklace or whatever, that ring or watch or whatever absorbs your spiritual energy. It absorbs everything that you do every moment of every day. I can take that ring and by something called psychometry, I can hold that ring between my hands and read your past from that ring.
But it only go so far back as the ring since you started wearing
It's
it,
so,
or does it go
when,
further?
at the point you started wearing that ring, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, Working with my angels, or anybody can. I mean, I'm not saying just me. When I got involved in this group, they had a series of counseling, still do, that the first one describes your energy, how much of it you're using, how much of it's committed, uncommitted, how many angels you have, you know, um, how many earthbound souls you have around you, you know, and it gives you an idea of what you need to work with. You're on your own at that point. They also have a blockage counseling. The second one that you're presented with is a blockage counseling that takes an emotional block that was actually set up the day you were born or a couple of days later, or the first instance of this occurred then. And every so often, this block is reinforced to where by the time you're grown, you may hate ice cream and don't know why. I'm not literally, but I'm using it as an example. And a counselor can take you back through the years. He'll work with his angels. They're working with your angels, and he'll get these instances in time when this block was reinforced all the way back to your day you were born. And he will mentally take you back. He'll tell you on this such and such a day, you know, everybody had ice cream. You couldn't have any because you had a sore throat, or you had, whatever. You were sick. You couldn't eat ice cream, but everybody else had some. So you hated ice cream because everybody else could have some, as a child. And all the way back to, to that first instance, and literally being in those counselings and having those counselings done for me, I could literally see exactly what was going on that triggered that emotional block. And you work your way back and you release these things. And it can be done as
Oh,
many
it's
times as
it's
you want.
regressive therapy,
It's therapy. Yeah.
but it's regressive therapy. You're
Right.
regressing to an
Right.
earlier. Yeah.
And I learned to do this. I did it for a while. I did the orientation profile and the blockage profile. They've got, oh God, they go into the chakra systems. They go into your spiritual gifts, whether or not you're working in a balanced state, positive and negative states with each gift. And it goes on and on and on. I mean, you can get as involved as you like, and part of that is learning to work with energy and souls. And I literally took a course on exorcism. That's how I learned how to do that. They had, this was at a
I
week
just
long.
I just realized my sister Pammy is here and she practices Reiki. You know
Practice
what
Reiki.
Reiki, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've known
Because
several Reiki
I
healers.
got this pain and I'm like, you'll see me keep going like this, and it's unusual that I have this pain right now because I don't usually experience it, now. And I'm like, I might have to put her to work.
There you go.
I've never been worked on. My energy, I don't believe, has ever been worked on before or with.
If she does Reiki, she probably worked on you without you knowing it. Not gonna say she has, but being she's your sister,
we've been apart for a long time. From the time that she got into it. I was in Arizona. Caucasian Sasquatch, what's up?
Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother.
What's going on, man? Good to see you.
I spent all day driving to South Carolina to go buy a really piece of crap Xterra because it's everything I wanted in a vehicle.
And more.
Well, it could have a nicer face, but to be honest, it's all plastic that's messed up. The interior is immaculate, and it's the V6 3.3 with the turbo 4x4.
Beauty's only skin deep.
Right? And paint does a world of good.
There. It's like a handyman slogan. Spackle and paint, make it what it ain't.
Right. I used to know a guy who could take some spackle and make you a piece of molding across the bottom if you needed one and you didn't have one. He'd finish out whatever you had with spackle. I don't know how that man did it. He was amazing.
That's what you call gifted.
Well, you can sand it down and shape it, and you screw up, you add more, let it dry, do it again.
Yeah, sure. I get that. I get all of that. But my man would go at it wet, and after it dried, he'd go back over it like real lightly. And then after it dried again, he'd sand it a little bit. You couldn't even figure out what part was wood and what part was
spackle. That's cool.
He was badass. I'm sorry, he was.
That's what you call gifted.
Yeah, the man had talent, not skill. He didn't learn that. He was born with that springing from his fingers. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Gene Hudson, welcome. Good to
Gene
see
Hudson, good to see you. Michael Haywood, awesome. You know what I just spent 20 minutes doing?
No.
I was invited to the MLH Hot Tub Time Machine stream where they take a random song that they have chosen the week before and you have to, on the spot, come up with dirty lyrics for it. You know I won, right? It's hard.
Bell Prepper, how are you, Bell? What song did they pick?
It was Enter Sandman, and they give each person a stanza to do. And I ended up with the Exit Light Enter Night, and I'm not going to repeat here what I did there.
No, that's
I love you, bud. I'm not doing that to you.
Yeah,
so good. No, I like doing changing the lyrics around at times, Usually.
So I was going to say that sounds like my kind of group.
Oh, dude, if you haven't come across Mexican Longhair yet, he's an auditor, cop watcher / activist for First Amendment activities and Fourth Amendment protections. And a really weird guy.
Yeah, you know what? I just got into it with somebody about this whole cop auditing, and I'm not going to get into it again. I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
Cops have a hard enough job as it is. They don't need some asshole up their ass with a camera for no fucking reason. Anyway.
Amen.
Just saying. He didn't realize that my family were my grandfather, my great grandfather, my father were all cops. So I don't want to hear about cop auditing.
Yeah. All cop
But I know,
harassment.
he'd do your thing. But this guy was quick to throw you under the bus and be like, "Oh, that's all he does." I'm like, "That's it's on his show."
I'm not an
Yeah.
auditor.
No, this is what he was saying.
Okay. Well, no,
He
I mean,
didn't
I do interview people, but the thing
He
is
didn't.
First Amendment activists are willing to get on camera and talk typically. Otherwise, you have to find someone who live streams to be willing to speak on camera. It's just an easy pull, bud.
That's all good. I just I didn't need him. I was surprised it went that way because he's been on before. Come on, we had no issues, no problems, and then he hit the wrong subject.
Hey man, it's your show, bud. We could turn the page to a different thing. I also interviewed a goblin, a literal goblin. Is that more your speed? Real, like
Must
his
be.
name is Ildar Hobblesquatch, and he plays a
Hobble
goblin.
Scratch. Yeah.
You seen him? Yeah. I got him backstage for a few minutes and screamed all of my Sasquatch stuff at him about shorts and titles and stuff. And 48 hours later, he's got like 10,000 views. I love it.
He's out of where? England?
Dude,
Somewhere
I'd be
else.
guessing. He's out of the Underdark. He lives in the subterranean realm. The man described and introduced himself as a goblin, and no amount of my BS could shake him out of character. He went through the whole pre-show, sign up, all of it, the whole thing in character, never came out of character. Even in After Dark, after everything had been turned off and we weren't live, he still sat there through the movie in character the whole way going, so why are those elves killing all of my brethren? Sorry, dude. I didn't think about it. Honestly, I wasn't trying to. I mean, it's just the Lord of the Rings. I can't help
What's with this snuff flick? My God.
You're right. It was great, though. No, the whole thing was awesome. Yeah, and I hope I helped him out. I really do, because he's an untapped resource of YouTube that really needs to be spread around like a thin.
It's an interesting approach to be willing to go full makeup, full character
every time.
Yeah.
He popped in 3 days ahead just to make sure it was scheduled right, and he was in full makeup and totally doing the goblin thing. It was great. Great.
That's interesting. That's weird, but it's interesting. Yeah.
I mean,
I know some people
I've heard of
cosplay,
actors staying in character for movie roles and shit or whatever, but this guy's just creating a character and living it. That's.
And I'm all about commitment to the bit. If you're going to do the bit, commit. There is no two ways about it. There's no halfway doing this stuff. You either dance like a monkey and perform on cue, or you're just
throwing shit.
Yeah, it's just flinging monkey. Yeah,
just flinging poo.
You know me. You know how I go at people whenever I'm doing the funny thing, and I just don't quit until I get them giggling, and I can't help it. It's part of me. I got him giggling. He went off camera. Like before he broke character, when the corners of his eyes wrinkled up, he went behind the scenes real quick, muted out.
Huh.
I never saw him actually break character. He went off camera before he could. It was beautiful, a beautiful performance from start to finish, the whole thing.
That's dedication.
So this is just an act he puts on. He doesn't really consider himself
as far as I can tell.
He might.
The man is a goblin. I can't prove otherwise.
Okay.
All I know is I invited the dude. Dude came on. We did the whole show, the After Dark and the After Hours bit where we watch a movie, and he never, not once, even for a second, broke character. It was a beautiful thing to watch. Even when I was hammering on him real hard, like really messing with him hard, nothing. He answered every question perfectly in line with his character. It was beautiful. Dude, that's an artist, dude.
I
That is
gotta
a
tell you, I
master in
like
his craft.
Caucasian. I like your background. That tunnel. That is sweet.
Portal.
Well, what I was gonna say when I do my travels, that's what I see. That's we literally use a tunnel like that for protection traveling through
Well, I
time.
picked it because it looked like something in particular.
Huh?
Said I picked
What-
it because it looked like something in particular.
What does it look like in particular?
In my
Something-
mind,
Something you're familiar with?
yeah, many years
when
ago,
when
I
you
had
were
a
boring?
stroke. No, I had a stroke, and I'm pretty sure it killed me graveyard dead, and my heart restarted when I hit the ground. Because I was like standing up, looked at the woman who would eventually become my wife, and was like, I'm having some kind of problem here. And the next thing I knew, all I could hear was seeing something like this and a distant dinging sound that I couldn't identify. And I couldn't identify it for a million years. And then I realized someone left the door on the car open. And I reached over and closed the door. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I came back to close the door because you're supposed to close doors.
Right.
It wasn't a conscious decision. It was just the door should be closed. And I literally sat up from graveyard dead, grabbed the door, shut it, and looked around like, geez, this isn't good. Cold sweats. It was like I'd OD'd or something, but it was just some kind of an infarction or whatever. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Doctor
you
said
got to see you got to see the tunnel on the other side.
I got to see something, and it reminds me of this. This sort of reminds me of it. But what I tell everybody is this is where I throw my vast field of shits I give. Yeah, this is where they go. You see them, right?
That's where they all show. Yeah. That's cool.
I think I said hi to Papa Craig. If not,
Hey, Papa C. Brian and Chewy go hiking. Tell me Chewy's a dog. Or is Brian the dog? I'm so confused.
Chewy's a cool dog.
I just went and got me an Xterra so I can bring my dog with me when I go places.
What year is it?
2002, man. The one with the supercharger.
Okay.
4x4 supercharger, bright freaking yellow. I'm gonna paint a freaking the Peterson film over the shoulder, Sasquatch on the side of it in black, and do the rest of it in caution yellow. It's already caution yellow. You know, like a street sign.
Yeah, that obnoxious.
Yeah.
It's already that obnoxious yellow. I didn't have to do anything for that. I just need to replace a bumper or two. They got all crispy in the sun. The interior is immaculate. There's like a single tear in one seat. That's it.
Hey, as long as it runs good, I should say.
I just drove it 200 miles off of the lot and it nothing. The only issue I had was when I was parked on a hill and went to crank it up, it didn't crank, and I reached over and shoved it into park and cranked it. It's just got the classic loose parking button down there.
Right. Yeah.
Just shove it into place and it'll run. And that turbo is something else, man, because I've got the same year model 3.3 Frontier I've been driving for 10 years, and it doesn't like hills. It never has. Hills, it loses 10, 15 miles an hour on a hill. In every case, stomp on it. It doesn't care. This thing doesn't notice hills. Big old Hagen tires on it. It still don't notice hills.
That's cool.
Muggs, I'm gonna step out, babe.
All right, Claude, it's good to see you.
Yeah,
Talk to you soon, man. You got my number.
I've been seeing some strange stuff in the van while we're talking. I saw something come. I was like, "What the? There's nothing in here with me." Okay, I gotta go. I got business to take care of. So,
all right, man. Be good.
Occasionally, good seeing you. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Y'all
You
take
too.
care. Right.
You have a great evening. I probably met the slimiest car salesman I've ever met in my life.
Really?
I've met a few. and most of them at least have an inkling of humanity to them. This dude was like a cold fish, man. Like I walked, it was like the Xterra. He's like, man, threw me some keys. I drove it around, came back. I crawled all under it, all over it. I can't find. The only issue I found physically after searching everything over is the classic Frontier / Nissan engine oil leak around the valve covers, because they're supposed to replace them every 100,000 miles. No one ever does. I do. But when you did, the upside to it though is when you do those, you can replace your NOx sensor, your all of your upper end stuff that you need to replace every 50, 100,000 miles. You can do all of it at one go. It costs about $2,000. Drives like a new vehicle when you get it back.
Well, for $2,000, it better.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot, but you got to take the whole top end of the engine off to do it. So it's a 6-hour job. So
Yeah,
probably $900 worth of parts.
that's a lot of labor, though.
It is. It is a lot.
And you know
labor.
what? It's $2,000 because it's worth it to have somebody else do it right.
Not have to deal with it, right? And as soon as all of that's done, new belts, new wires, new plugs, new NOx sensor, that whole kit and caboodle. Once that's done, it's probably good for another 100, 150,000 miles.
Right on.
So,
yeah, Stevie's looking for a vehicle.
you got anything in mind? I just went through a bajillion.
I don't know. I got to figure out what she'll.
Shape,
Stevie, what kind of vehicle you want?
Color.
Huh? Would you say shape, size, and color?
Yeah, shape, size, and color. These would be helpful details. How many people are going to be in it? That would also help.
Probably just 2, but I think she's looking more of SUV.
Yeah.
And given, she's on prosthetics, she doesn't use any, she'll drive anything, she can drive anything because, it's not like there's hand controls or anything like that. But I know she wants something a little higher, then she doesn't want to crawl in and out of a car. It's a pain in the ass.
A CRV is taller than a car, but lower than a general SUV, and so is a RAV4.
Yeah, Honda's the CRVs aren't bad.
They're middle crossovers.
Yeah, no, I've driven
Xterra,
one.
you kind of have to hop up into. It's kind of chunky.
I just want her to get into something that's reliable,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't. I mean, I've always heard you can't go wrong with a Nissan, mine notwithstanding. My Frontier was such a problem because everyone knew what was wrong with it, and no one suggested the radio. I know that sounds silly, but you would expect a professional to go through professional steps to professionally diagnose an issue.
Sure.
That doesn't seem to have been the case. They replaced the battery and charged me $300, sent it home. And they did that for 3 years. Different places, different people. And it was finally a guy shows up at my house going, I heard there was something wrong with your Frontier. I'm going to fix it. And I was like, if you can fix it, I will give you money. And if it's still running in 3 weeks, I will give you more money.
Fly by Stu, how's it going? Yeah, I'm kind of. I got lucky. Well, no, never mind. I'm going to say that. It's inheriting my dad's truck was, it's an 8-year-old or almost a 9-year-old truck, and it doesn't even have 41,000 miles on it yet.
Yeah, there you go.
So I feel blessed that way.
You can have the things like that is you're at that point where things are going to start falling apart due to dry rot and not because you've used it too much.
Yeah, like
it'll be a plug or a piece of a filter or some crap something like that.
Well, like the seal around the windshield on the bottom and the front is coming out. But it was an Arizona truck, so you know, dry rot is pretty common out there.
That's right. Oh, the whole grill on this thing is shot. The Xterra is completely shot. It dry rotted 15 years ago. Homie jury rigged some lights in there. Now, all
I
the
was like
pieces.
the Xterras. I thought they were good looking vehicles.
This is the one that has the little mad face on the front end. He's like, I don't know how to explain it. He looks sad. Hold on, I might have it. Let me look. I'll be right back.
So it's good to see everybody hanging out. You got 50 watching. If anybody wants to pop on, guys, you can feel free. Here's the link. Thanks in chat. You want to come hang out? We still have another at least 30 minutes left.
No, it's the wrong one. Tempted to go get that other one just for the stuff that's on it. It's got the brush guard and the top light bar and the rear brush guard and the front winch and all of that stuff.
I thought the light bar was like built into their roof rack.
When
all right,
so that piece of the roof rack, you can take that part off and put in a light bar roof rack piece there. They've got an aftermarket one for it. And I may go through some of that stuff, but all I really want is that front brush guard. That's about maybe the winch mount. I might do that.
Pammy, if you're listening, I need some energy fixing or something. My friggin' shoulder's killing me.
Now, my wife is a huge Honda fan. She'll do anything. Her whole family does Honda everything.
Oh, yeah.
I don't blame them a bit. I mean, I've yet to see but one or two Hondas that had major issues that weren't immediately fixed.
My brother-in-law was into and still into like building Hondas. You know, he'd tear the shit out of those things. He knows those engines inside and out.
Yeah,
those cars actually.
And Rachel, my wife was talking about trading in her 2013 Accord, and I was sitting there doing the math on it, and I went, you know, we could put a brand new engine in that thing for like $2,000, brand new transmission. Even if there's nothing wrong with it, just pull it and replace it with a new one if you want a new car. But she says she wants something bigger, so I'm like, okay.
Put bigger tires on it.
Well, we had a grandbaby and some other additions that have occurred, so we kind of need something that can travel easily with the full load of the whole
practicality.
Practicality has become an issue.
Yeah. Damn adulting. Damn it.
Right. No, dude, we said that 100 times today. I was like, why can't I just call that man and offer him another $500 just to send it to me, sight unseen? They won't do that, especially not out of state. He got all upset with me when I told him I was coming up there, and he's like, well, now you need to go ahead and fill out the financial stuff. And I'm like, no, I'll be there in a little bit. Well, there's no point in coming if we can't do any of the financing. I'll be there in a little bit. Just hold your horses. We'll get it squared away.
Yeah, it's funny that car salesmen get such a bad rap. They're like the scumbags of the sales world.
Hey, man, have you ever like known car salesmen that weren't scumbags? Like, have you ever like
I was married to one.
Salesman? Oh, you were. All right. Well,
yeah.
Immediately, I do apologize for bringing
up
that.
She could sell sandals to Jesus.
That's right. She's a little Eskimo and ice maker.
And Bo, yeah, with a warranty.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, oil to Arabs. She could do it. Yeah, she had a way. No, I mean, there's too much shadiness that you always hear about with used car salesmen. And when you know some of the shit that they can pull to make a car sound better, and then 6 weeks later you're dead on the side of the road going, whatever.
Yeah, that's why I found the mechanic first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everybody does that.
Told you what I was planning on doing, ask him if he ever dealt with one of those before. And he's like, well, the such and such and blah, blah, blah has a turbo, like the Toyota Tacoma 2000, whatever. He named it. He does that stuff. He's like, yeah, we were built a couple. Oh, how about a Nissan? He's like, shouldn't be too much of a problem. All right. I get there and look at it. Cruise control don't work. Cruise control don't work on my truck either, for that matter. I called him up. I was like,
you're not destined to have cruise control, apparently.
It might just be the case. But hey, on my truck, it's an issue. On my truck, it is hard to keep that thing on a steady kill. It does not want to maintain speed. It wants to run 75 or it wants to run 40. There's no happy middle ground. This thing runs 55 all day, up, down, curls, curly kid. That Xterra is good. It's good. I was very impressed about halfway home, 150 miles into that trip. It ain't overheated. It didn't even burn that much gas. It got better gas mileage than my unturbo boosted truck. I don't understand that.
I don't know.
And it was bone dry when I got it, just about it.
Yeah, I just filled my truck up today. It actually took 30 gallons of gas.
Dude, I dropped 50 in it. I have no idea how many gallons it was, but it was a lot. I could feel it, like it squatted the whole back end of it down a little bit. I could feel the weight of it because there's nothing in it yet. It's got nothing but seats and a roof. That's it.
Yeah. As soon as you load it down with liquid, yeah.
Yeah. I'll throw down the back seats. I'm gonna get me a dog carrier to put back yonder. And I'm gonna put me a little camp stove set right at the back end where you can lift it up and be out of the rain.
So like I said, guys, we still have another 30 minutes left. Link is in chat. If you want to come hang out, now is the time. What else is going on? I'm trying to think if I remember things or think about things I want to talk about, and come show time, and I forgot everything I thought about. I don't write shit down.
To keep that from happening, when I'm going through trying to make up something for a show, I have a playlist that is private to myself, and I save everything that strikes my interest for a week solid. And then I go through all of them that I've picked out over the past week or two, and all of them that are in the same kind of genre, the same box, I stick them in their own playlist. And when I get 5 or 6 of them together, I'll do a show on it.
No, that's great, but I'm talking about thoughts. I just forgot, I forget like what I want to talk about. That's why I'm like I said, I should write shit down, but I don't prepare for a show. I don't think about a show. I don't go, today we're going to talk about, it's what do you guys want to talk about? It's been like that.
I do. I get it. I just can't do it that way. I have to have some kind of concept of where I'm going with this whole.
I get it. No, dude, I know what you mean, but I tried it once or twice and it just blew up in my face. I was like, okay, I'm not supposed to do it that way.
I could just the other way around with me. If I just randomly pop on with nothing to talk about, we end up with 3 or 4 people sitting on panels screaming at each other, and then I shut everything down and quit. I gotta have a topic or it don't work for whatever reason.
No. Well, that's why I let everybody else, if you're going to come on, choose the topic, or chat, choose the topic,
Right.
You don't see too many people throwing ideas out in chat. Today's topic, we should talk about, whatever. You don't see that.
I specifically avoid current events if I can.
I don't try to stay away from them. religion, politics, all
Yeah,
that good stuff.
religion, politics, news, anything like that. It's
Well, news is just too damn fucking depressing.
in general, yeah. And even when you find something that's good, someone else immediately ruins it.
Like good news is an oxymoron. There's no such thing. It's just not. I haven't seen good news in forever. Anyway. Yeah, I can't read shit tonight. Wow. I still can't read shit. You gotta clean these things.
I can't
Take care of your eyes, kids.
Yeah. I was just saying, I can't even see my computer screen. I'm just staring into the sun all afternoon, driving down the road.
And it's weird because I have to look dead on. I can't look through the bottom or the top. It's like it's a whole new discipline of wearing glasses. I'm like,
yeah,
fucking sucks, man. I mean, I can see better, but it's annoying. Use aluminum foil. That's the trick. Val says, been fighting with a roll of saran wrap for 45 minutes. Who knows the trick? Please tell me.
Call your sister, call your wife, call your daughter, or your neighbor who has a wife, and get her over there. She'll straighten that out in like 2 seconds flat.
For a few years now, we've been doing this thing on Christmas, or when did we do it? It was Christmas. It's called Murder Ball. And my sister would make it up. And you start with, say, something small, like a little box with a $20 bill in it. That's your goal. And you start wrapping that up in saran wrap. And each layer, a couple layers, you put in candy or you put in all this good stuff. But you have to do it in sections. It can't be one long wrap. So you take a 2-foot length and wrap it around, or you take a 3-foot, or you take a 6-inch. So you end up with this big ass ball with all these goodies in it. And the trick is everybody gets around the table and there's dice. And the first person, whoever goes first, you have to find the edge of that and unwrap it. You cannot rip it, tear it. You have to legitimately unwrap it. So as you're trying to do that, the person next to you, to your left, is rolling dice, trying to get doubles. And as soon as they get a double, it's their turn. So there's a lot of getting shit ripped out of your hands. Little old ladies getting real violent.
I got you. There's one ball. Not everybody gets a ball, but one ball.
One ball, and you pass it. Everybody wants their chance. So each one, as you unravel the saran wrap, a new prize will pop out, or money, or whatever. So that's what we did for. So yeah, what problem are you having with the saran wrap, dear? I think we can help. I'm a pro at unwrapping saran wrap. But yeah, it's called Murder Ball. We've posted it on, I think we put it on Facebook a few times. It's you realize who's really competitive in your family.
My sister bites. I couldn't do that. She would physically bite me to take it.
Really?
I've got scars.
All she has to do is roll the dice, roll the pair.
She also cheats. She's always cheated. Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. That's her motto.
Huh. Good luck with that.
Didn't say it was my motto.
No, I'm saying your sister. Good luck with that.
So far, I guess. I don't know. I hate it.
See, Val says we do that. It's a blast with the murder ball or the saran wrap ball. Oh, no, I have seen little Jewish women like get really violent playing that game. On Christmas, no less. There's something wrong with that.
There does seem to be errors in this method of thought, but I'm not going to call them out on you.
That's all right. So who else? Anybody else new in here? Jeez, we dropped down a lot of people. They're like, these guys are boring as fuck tonight.
Yeah, no, I've got a splitting headache, dude. I'm not great entertainment tonight, but I did.
No worries, man.
I didn't.
I had a great day with my sisters, and I was more involved in that, and we had fun. And then I realized I was like, oh shit, I got to do a show in an hour and a half. And I was still just starting to cook dinner, so at 8:20, I was still scarfing a steak.
Right. At 8:20,
which
I usually go live at 8 on Tuesdays. At 8:20, I had just pulled into the driveway, and I was just like, I'm not doing it. No, I'll find somebody else. I'll go panel whore for somebody. I'll do something. Don't start that again. Pyromedic, welcome to the show, bud. Good to see you.
Oh, there he is.
Well, that's what you said.
If you don't have duct tape, there's no hope for you.
Have you considered razor blades?
Stick with the duct tape and a helmet.
I might need a helmet. No falsehoods detected.
Yeah. Stick with the duct tape. Oh, I didn't bypass you, Chris. I just didn't say hi to you. I didn't see you. Hi, Chris. Welcome. Where are we at? 42. Yeah, I'm uncomfortable today. I don't know why. I'm sore.
I need a helmet and a fork with a cork on it, just so I don't get my own eye out. Hey, dude, I got one. You like good stories, right? I'm a pretty good storyteller. All right. So I was born with a bone spur in my arm, right? And the process of it growing out until I was about 22, it created all kinds of scar tissue and stuff up in my arm, and it interfered with the nerves. So when I turned about 19, occasionally, for no explicable reason, my left arm would just reach out and take a swipe at somebody. It wasn't me doing it. It would just happen. And I've knocked people out with it, and I did not swing at that man. I reached to grab a glass, and instead it just took a left hook. And I'm not left-handed. I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with my left hand, but that arm knows what it's doing. Like gorilla strength, dude. It was like an unreasonable amount of strength involved. When I was about 22, 23, you could hand me a hammer, and occasionally I would flick that thing into orbit. Like, if you put it in my left hand, it was like a reflex. As soon as the weight hit my hand, it would just, and I mean,
knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, just a reaction. So I go to bed one night, and we've got this huge Great Dane, black as a piece of coal, and we named him Cole because you couldn't find him in the dark at all, even with a little bit of light. Unless he opened his mouth and you saw his teeth, it was like the nothing from the never-ending story. So 2-3 nights in a row, I wake up with this dog chewing on the bone spur in my arm. He had climbed up in the bed, rolled me over, and pinned my arm down, and he's knitting at it like a flea. Like
the flea bite, yeah.
Right. And this happens once, twice a night, 2 nights in a row, 2 or 3 times a night, 3 nights in a row. And finally, I reach over, which at the time I was working night shift, so I was sleeping during the day. So he was kind of sneaking into my room to come get in bed with me so he could try to pull this thing out of my arm that he can't get to. So I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, make me an appointment for the doctor tomorrow. I need to go get this thing in my arm checked out. She says, okay. It'll be a couple of days. I arrange for the time off. I go into the doctor and he checks everything out and says, okay, what's the problem? I said, well, Mr. Kitchens, my dog really, really doesn't like it being there. He said, hold on. Picked up the phone, made 2 phone calls, hung it up and said, we'll have it removed by Tuesday. It was like Sunday or something. It was like Friday afternoon. I was in there before Monday. They had that thing out of me in like 72 hours. No joke. Like that. And it's because apparently dogs react to cancer.
Your dog's got some connections there. No, they've been known to smell out cancer.
So this is what I learned. After it was removed and it was dissected and bisected and everything, it was sent to the Smithsonian Institute because there are 2 cases of this particular type of deformity. Me and a guy in the South Pacific that was removed from Marinara Island, the Bikini Islands over there where they blew up the bombs. They removed this guy and he had one of these, and that's the only other noted case of it.
So you've got a bone spur in the Smithsonian.
According to the records, there's a bone spur from me as patient B. The second known case.
I got a bone spur in my neck.
They probably did lose it in the basement. He's probably right. Almost certainly.
Well, how big was it? It wasn't that big.
About the size of a Marlboro Red 100.
Yeah, it's not very big.
It's not, but man, that thing caused me a pain all of my life, and I didn't know it until it was gone.
The one in my neck, I think, at times when I look up, if I put my head back, I think I'm cutting off either the blood or the oxygen, something, because I'll get dizzy if I put my head back, like to look at the sky sometimes.
Right.
I feel like I'm going to black out.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's from the bone spur in my neck. I didn't know I had it until I went to a chiropractor one time and they took, x-rays and they're like, oh, you've got this bone spur. I'm like, what? That was 10 years ago, so I can only imagine what it's like now.
Oh, you should have heard the argument between me and the x-ray lady who's been doing my x-rays my whole life. When I explained to them, oh, no, you've never x-rayed my left arm. I know we have. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, you haven't. You've x-rayed my head, my chest, my legs, my pelvis, my right arm, my right humerus, my right ulnar. You haven't done my left arm. And she went through the records like she didn't believe it. And I was like, I'm sorry. I mean, this is just the way it is. I don't know why you didn't do my left arm. It just never happened. So now, this is great. Now, when I go into like an ER or something, they're going to take my blood pressure. When they did that surgery, they moved all of my veins over to the other side of the muscle right there. And they had to split the muscle to make enough tendon for it to reach back down to where it's supposed to reach to, because it was all tangled up around that bone spur, right? Big gob of scar tissue. Okay. So I've got a piece of like graphite wire or something like that, some little thread tendon building thing. I don't know what it's called, but some kind of carbon fiber or something in my muscle right here. And if they take the blood pressure thing and they stick it right there in the right spot and they do the little thing, I come up dead. I come up dead as Dillinger. That lady will look at me. She's like, you might want to try my right arm. We're supposed to do it on the left arm. Yes, ma'am. I understand. My left arm's not like your left arm. It's had a remodeling.
Yeah, that would be weird. Got to get blood pressure and there's nothing there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not quite nothing, but it's so low. It's so low that somebody who knows what they're looking at freaks out. Like they try not to freak out. They do that face. They stand up, walk out the room, and go get somebody.
Yeah, they look at you funny, and then I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
Doctor!
Code blue! The man is exactly. Oh, Judy, you want to talk about keeping your sense of humor? Remind me to tell you about the time I burnt my hands and they had to fix them. Turns out I don't react to pain the way most people do. When it goes above like red level, I giggle maniacally and I can't help it. It sounds like the Joker. It's not me. I'm not actively laughing. It's just that I'm either going to scream or laugh, and laughter is what comes out. And I mean,
Yeah,
like the old
I
school
scream like a
cartoon
bitch.
Joker, not Mr. Joker over there.
Yeah, you just sound like you have. I mean, you've had too many issues.
I had a rough life up to a point.
Well, I think we all have to a point.
I believe
Or
we
some
all
of us
have.
spoiled, but not me.
Some people tell the story better than others, I suppose.
True story.
Right.
Oh, Sharon, thank you so much. Yeah, prayers to Gary Spikes.
Hey, dude.
He's in the hospital. Not sure what for yet. Thank you for that info, Sharon. I appreciate it.
Much love, prayers.
Yeah, Gary's a nice guy. I camped with him one night up in Oklahoma. He was cool enough. Like he wanted to come meet me, so he's like, "Yeah, man, I'll meet you there." And we went to Brown Springs and camped for one night.
Hey, I mean, all I want's a photo op, basically. Just proof that I exist and you exist, and we both are real people, not just pictures on YouTube, I suppose.
Right.
You know.
I don't look at it that way. I mean, I love meeting people. That's my thing. You know, it's not to prove anything. Like, yeah, we're not just faces on YouTube. I mean, although when I'm out, if I'm somewhere and I don't wear my bandana and I'm supposed to, they're like, "What the fuck are you?" Oh shit, smokes.
We got 2/3 of the way through the Sasquatch Shills with Tildar Hobble Squatch the other day, and he was I can't remember what he brought up. He was like, maybe some of y'all can come up in costume. I said, you'd have to pick a costume, either the black t-shirt with the hair down or I don't know, Odin. And he's like, I wish I knew that guy who did that Odin thing. And I was like, wait a second. And he explained to me about my Odin Seas short. He told me everything about it, except he didn't realize I was the one that did it.
It was yours.
That's me. That's me in that suit. He just didn't catch it. And when I trying to tell him, because he was trying to tell me who I was, and I was trying to tell him, no, that's me. He didn't get it. It took him 2 or 3 tries across the same ground to stop and go, wait a second. And I looked at him and went, what are the humans doing? And he went, oh, that is you. Well, yeah.
Huh. His prosthetic ears were a little too tight.
They're awesome, dude. They're fantastic. There's no gap there at all. I brought him up on big screen and was staring at him, trying to find a gap in his makeup, and it's flawless.
Well, I suppose if you're gonna be that committed to it, you better do it right.
Can I tell you exactly how committed the man is? He has 3 bar winches that hang out backstage behind him just to finish the look of the tavern. Some random dude with a long pipe and a long beard smoking a pipe and drinking mead, getting hammered. They're just there. I've never heard them say anything or do any, but they're actual people in the actual frame while he's doing whatever it is he's doing over here.
Well, I saw them in the one episode. Like, I saw people back there. I didn't.
They're people. They're actually there. Like, while we were backstage before the show, one of them comes through and starts pouring up drinks and talking in some freaking Elvish or something. I don't know. And he answered her in Elvish.
Wow.
And I was like, I went to school with people like this. I know these people, just not personally.
And they're still in their parents' basement. Well, where are we at? 155.
Fine.
Jeez.
I'm gonna come down and let you do this.
Right on, man.
Do it much better than we do it as a team. you have you a good evening. Much love. Don't let the
I'll
man
talk
get
to you soon, man. Thanks for popping
Nice
on.
watch out.
All right, brother. Yeah, so apparently he doesn't do never mind. I'm not even gonna bring it up. You guys are just gonna have to wonder. Bell Prepper, it was good to see you. Good night. Don't be a stranger. You got a phone. Make it work. It's been a while since we had a long conversation. But yeah, guys, I'm going to end this. Thank you so much, everybody that came out tonight and hung out. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Again, guys, I'm here for you guys. So to come on and discuss what you want to discuss. And so in the future, just remember that if you want to come on, you want to change the subject, put it in chat. Hey, let's talk about this or whatever. But like I said, this channel is for you guys. It's not about me. It's about you. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the show, please hit that like button below. If you're new, subscribe, share it out. It's, let's get some more subscribers. I've been stuck on like 1945 forever. So yeah, I'd love to see everybody share this out and let's get above 2,000. That's 50. I'm 50 away, and it just seems like miles and miles and miles away. But it's all good. Anyway, guys, I will be back here on Thursday. We'll do it all again. Woohoo! You have to forgive me. I'm a little tired tonight. It's just been a long day. We were up late last night, but yeah. Thank you, Val. Yeah, they're gonna stay another night and go down. They're going to Sarasota on Thursday. My sisters, that's what I'm talking about. And so yeah, I'm gonna run down, see if they're still up, and say goodnight. Guys, thank you so much again. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Love you guys. I do. Peace and God bless.